Echoes of a Forgotten Violin. Chapter 1: A New Room and the Melody of the Night. It was late spring, and warm sunlight bathed the afternoon as Emily moved into a small apartment to begin a new chapter of her life. The building, over 50 years old, featured creaky wooden stairs and a nostalgic red roof, exuding a charm that seemed to belong to a bygone era. Emily had chosen this place hoping for a quiet and peaceful life. As she unloaded boxes from the truck, she glanced up at the clear blue sky, feeling a sense of optimism. Surely, her new life would be calm and fulfilling. That evening, after finishing her move, Emily lay down on her bed, feeling pleasantly exhausted. The room was still cluttered with unpacked boxes, but the quiet that surrounded her was a welcome change. As the night deepened, a peculiar sound reached her ears. At first, she thought it was her imagination, but when she listened closely, it was unmistakably music. A soft, tender piano melody seemed to drift through the thin walls, as if coming from a distant place. Curious, Emily sat up in bed and tried to locate the source of the sound. A quick glance at the clock revealed it was past 1 a.m., a piano. At this hour, she wondered aloud. Slipping into her slippers, she stepped out into the hallway. The hallway was dimly lit, and the old wooden floor creaked faintly beneath her feet. The music grew clearer, yet it remained impossible to pinpoint its origin. The melody had a strange allure, evoking a sense of nostalgia she couldn't quite place. Unable to find where it was coming from, Emily eventually gave up and returned to bed. To her surprise, she found the music soothing, and before long, she drifted into a deep and peaceful sleep, wrapped in its gentle embrace. The next morning, Emily decided to greet her neighbors and inquire about the mysterious music. The tenants she met in the hallway and on the stairs were warm and friendly, and their kindness reassured her that she had made the right choice in moving here. When I was settling in last night, I heard a piano playing late at night, Emily mentioned to a young couple who lived in the apartment next to hers. I was wondering if someone here plays. The husband smiled knowingly. Ah, you heard it too. That's something of a quirk of this place. Nobody knows exactly where it comes from, but the music drifts through the apartment late at night. It's like the whole building turns into a concert hall. It was so beautiful, Emily said, intrigued. I couldn't help but listen. It's something you get used to after living here, the wife added. In fact, many of us find it comforting. From that night on, Emily eagerly awaited the nighttime melodies. Sometimes, she heard a different instrument, like a stringed violin, while other nights the apartment was silent. The music, its origins shrouded in mystery, began to weave itself into her nightly routine, soothing her soul in ways she hadn't anticipated. One night, Emily resolved to uncover the truth behind the music. Chapter 2: The Secret Performer. Night after night, Emily found herself enchanted by the mysterious music drifting through the apartment. The melodies were unlike anything she had heard before, gentle, timeless, and deeply comforting. Her curiosity grew stronger, and she decided to uncover the truth behind the music. One moonlit night, she made up her mind. As the clock struck 1 a.m. and the music began to play, Emily grabbed a flashlight, slipped on her slippers, and stepped out into the dimly lit hallway. The melody was soft, a tender string instrument weaving its way through the quiet. Emily followed the sound, her steps cautious on the creaky wooden floor. The music seemed to guide her upward, drawing her toward the top floor of the apartment building. When she reached the uppermost level, the melody was clearer than ever, emanating from behind a door. Emily hesitated for a moment. She was certain this was one of the empty units, long abandoned according to the neighbors. Summoning her courage, she reached out and turned the knob. The door opened easily, revealing a room that was far from abandoned. Though old, it was neat and well-maintained, with a nostalgic warmth that made it feel as though someone still lived there. By the window stood a wooden chair and a small desk, but what caught Emily's attention most was the grand piano sitting in the middle of the room. Emily's breath caught in her throat. The music was coming from the piano, yet no one was playing it. The keys moved on their own, pressing down in a mesmerizing rhythm, creating the ethereal melody that had filled the apartment night after night. "Is someone here?" Emily whispered, her voice trembling with both wonder and unease. The music paused for a moment, and the room fell silent. Then, a soft voice, warm and kind, answered her. "Welcome. Thank you for listening to the music." The voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, echoing gently through the room. Emily felt a chill, but it was not from fear. It was as if the voice carried a comforting presence. "Who are you?" she asked, her curiosity overpowering her apprehension. The voice replied after a brief pause. "I am something like a spirit of this apartment, a presence tied to its music. When people seek peace and stillness, I quietly play for them. But it is rare for someone to find their way here." Emily's eyes widened in amazement. "Why do you play this music? What is it meant to say?" The voice responded with a wishful tone. "This apartment has a long history. Once, it was home to many who played music, sharing their emotions through melodies. Those memories remain here, lingering in the walls, and I am simply the vessel through which they continue to be heard." Emily looked around the room, now understanding why the music felt so familiar and comforting. It was the echo of lives once lived. "This music, it's beautiful. But shouldn't more people hear it? It feels like it's meant to be shared." The voice seemed to smile, though no physical presence could be seen. "Perhaps. But for now, it is enough that you have heard it and felt its meaning. If you truly wish to share it, there is more for you to uncover." Emily nodded, her determination growing. "I want to learn more about this music and the people who created it. Please, help me understand." The voice answered gently. "I will guide you, but know that these stories hold not only joy but also sorrow. Are you ready to discover the memories hidden within these melodies?" "I am," Emily said, her voice steady. "I'll do whatever it takes to share this music with the world." From that night forward, Emily began to visit the room regularly. The spirit's voice shared fragments of the past, tales of love, loss, hope, and despair, each story woven into the music left behind. With each visit, Emily felt more connected to the apartment's history and to the unseen lives that had shaped its melodies. Little did she know, the music was not only changing her but was preparing her for a journey she could never have imagined. Chapter 3: Memories in the Music and a New Connection. Night after night, Emily returned to the room on the top floor, drawn by the music and the spirit's gentle voice. Each visit revealed more about the apartment's history, and with every story, Emily felt her connection to the music deepening. One evening, the voice began a new tale. This apartment was once new and vibrant, filled with people who gathered nightly to share their music. Among them was a young violinist named Elizabeth. She played her violin with such tenderness that it moved everyone who heard her. Especially on rainy nights, her melodies seemed to carry the soul of the storm. Emily listened intently, captivated. What kind of emotions did she pour into her music? The voice grew quieter, tinged with melancholy. Elizabeth's music was her way of expressing a love she couldn't hold on to. She had a sweetheart living far away, separated from her by war. Her violin became her voice, sending messages of hope and longing into the night. She played not only for herself but for everyone who sought comfort during those difficult times. Emily's heart ached at the thought. Did she ever reunite with her sweetheart? The voice paused, as if choosing its words carefully. No. The war took him before they could meet again. But Elizabeth refused to believe he was truly gone. Every night, she played her violin, hoping her music might somehow reach him. Her melodies gave courage to others in the apartment, even as they carried her unspoken grief. As the story unfolded, Emily gazed out the window, the moonlight casting its glow across the room. She could almost picture Elizabeth, a violin in hand, pouring her heart into the strings. The image felt so vivid, so real, that Emily's chest tightened. Her music is still here, isn't it? Emily asked softly. Yes, the voice replied. Her music, and the music of others who lived here, remain in this apartment. And now, you've heard it too. The next day, Emily decided to learn more about Elizabeth and the apartment's history. She visited a nearby bookstore and spoke to the owner, a kind woman who listened attentively to Emily's story. After a moment of thought, the woman retrieved a small, dusty box from behind the counter. "This might help you," she said, handing it to Emily. "It's a collection of records about the apartment." It wasn't a famous building, but it seems to have been a haven for musicians and artists. Inside the box, Emily found old photographs and handwritten notes. Among them was a photo of a young woman holding a violin, her gentle smile and bright eyes captivating. The back of the photograph read, "Elizabeth, 1943. This is her." Emily murmured, her voice trembling. She felt a rush of emotion, as if she had just uncovered a long-lost treasure. That night, Emily returned to the top-floor room, carrying Elizabeth's photograph. She placed it gently on the piano and spoke into the quiet air. "This is you, isn't it, Elizabeth?" The room filled with a soft glow, and the piano began to play a familiar, delicate tune. The voice responded, carrying a note of warmth and surprise. You found her. Yes, that's Elizabeth. You've uncovered a piece of the past I never thought anyone would find. As the music played, a faint figure appeared within the light. It was Elizabeth, holding her violin and smiling softly, just as she had in the photograph. Emily's breath caught as she realized she was standing in the presence of a memory brought to life. Elizabeth's silhouette seemed to nod in gratitude, and her violin began to emit a gentle sound. The melody resonated with Emily's heart, as if the strings were weaving together the emotions of the past and present. "You've done so much for me," Emily whispered, her voice breaking with emotion. "But there's still so much more I want to understand about your music and the lives it touched." The voice replied, calm and steady. "Then let me share it with you. The stories hidden in this music are yours to uncover, and yours to carry forward." Emily felt a sense of purpose swell within her. The music was not just a relic of the past, it was a living legacy, waiting to be shared. Chapter 4: An Everlasting Melody. Emily stared in awe as Elizabeth's figure grew clearer, bathed in a soft, warm glow. She held her violin delicately, a serene smile gracing her face. Emily couldn't move, captivated by the sight. There was no fear, only a profound sense of calm and connection. "Are you Elizabeth?" Emily asked quietly, her voice trembling with wonder. Elizabeth nodded slowly, and at that moment, a single note emerged from her violin. The sound was achingly beautiful, carrying an indescribable mix of sadness and hope. The melody seemed to speak directly to Emily's heart, as if it held the essence of all that Elizabeth had ever felt. As the music filled the room, Elizabeth's voice, soft and kind, echoed within Emily's mind. "Thank you for listening to my music and for seeking me out. The melodies that fill this apartment are the echoes of those who once lived and played here. Music was our way of expressing what words could not, and we shared it freely with one another. But time moves on, and our music was forgotten." Emily's heart ached at the thought. "But you're still here," she said softly. "Your music hasn't been forgotten. It's so vivid, so alive. Surely it deserves to be heard by more people." Elizabeth's figure seemed to glow brighter as she listened. "Perhaps you're right," she said. "But for my music to reach others, someone must carry it forward. I cannot leave this place, but you, Emily, you can." Emily's eyes widened. "Me? But how? I'm not a musician." Elizabeth smiled, a patient and understanding expression. "You don't need to be. You only need to listen, to feel. My violin will guide you." As Elizabeth spoke, her figure began to fade slightly, and the violin she held floated gently through the air. It came to rest before Emily, hovering just within her reach. The instrument gleamed softly, its wood warm to the touch, as if it were alive with its own energy. "This violin holds the memories of everyone who ever played music here," Elizabeth explained. "If you take it, you'll also take their stories, their emotions, and their dreams. But if you do, my presence will fade. I will become a part of the violin, and my memory will live on only through the music." Emily felt tears well up in her eyes. "I don't want you to disappear. That's too heartbreaking." Elizabeth's voice was gentle and unwavering. "Music is never truly gone, Emily. As long as it touches someone's heart, it will always exist. If you carry my music into the world, that will be enough for me." Torn between her emotions and her growing sense of purpose, Emily hesitated before finally reaching out to the violin. The moment her fingers touched it, a brilliant light filled the room, and Elizabeth's figure began to dissolve into the glow. "Thank you, Emily," Elizabeth said, her voice faint but filled with warmth. "You've given me a future I never thought possible." The light slowly faded, and the room returned to its quiet state. Emily stood alone, holding the violin, her heart heavy yet full of resolve. As she cradled the instrument, Emily felt a deep connection to its history and to the people whose music it held. She brought it close, her voice steady with determination. "I'll share your music with the world," she whispered. "I promise." That night, for the first time, Emily tried playing the violin. Though her fingers moved clumsily at first, the instrument seemed to guide her, coaxing melodies from its strings. The notes were simple yet heartfelt, weaving together the emotions of the past and her own newfound resolve. Outside, the full moon cast its light over the apartment, and Emily's melody gently filled the building, touching the hearts of her neighbors and beyond. The music that had once been confined to the apartment had begun to find its way into the world. Chapter 5: Music Weaves a Future. The following morning, Emily sat by her window, holding the violin in her hands. The events of the previous night still felt like a dream, but the instrument's warm presence reassured her it was real. This violin was not just a tool for music, it was a vessel for the memories and emotions of Elizabeth and the other past residents of the apartment. As she looked out at the bustling street below, Emily wondered how best to fulfill her promise to Elizabeth and share this extraordinary music with the world. Doubts lingered in her mind. Could she truly do it? A small concert in the square. That afternoon, Emily decided to take her first step. She walked to the town square, a charming open space surrounded by small shops and cafes. She found a quiet spot under a large tree, set down the violin case, and hesitated for a moment. "I've never played in front of anyone before," she murmured to herself, her hands trembling slightly. But as she placed the violin under her chin and touched the bow to the strings, a sense of calm washed over her. The violin seemed to guide her, as it always had. The first notes drifted into the air, soft and gentle. At first, people walking through the square didn't seem to notice. But as the melody grew, its beauty began to draw attention. One by one, passers-by stopped to listen, their expressions softening as the music reached them. The sound was nostalgic and tender, carrying a depth that resonated deeply with each listener. "What a beautiful melody," someone whispered. Emily continued to play, feeling Elizabeth's presence through the violin. She poured her heart into the music, knowing it was touching the hearts of those around her. A growing circle of music. When Emily finished her performance, a small crowd had gathered. Several people approached her with kind words. "Your music," It feels like it tells a story, one woman said. Will you be playing here again? I don't know where this melody comes from, a man added, but it reminded me of something I thought I'd forgotten. Thank you for sharing it. Emily smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. Thank you for listening. This music comes from a very special place, and I'll keep playing as long as it brings people comfort. Among the listeners was a man who introduced himself as a music producer. He had been drawn to Emily's performance and saw something unique in her music. There's something extraordinary about your sound, he said. If you're interested, I'd like to help you share it on a bigger stage. Emily was taken aback but quickly realized this could be the opportunity she needed. Though nervous, she agreed. Thank you. I'd love to try. Connections within the apartment. That evening, as Emily returned to the apartment, she was surprised to find some of her neighbors waiting for her in the hallway. We heard you playing in the square, said the elderly woman who lived downstairs. It reminded me of the times we used to gather in the courtyard, sharing music and stories. You brought those memories back. You have a gift, added the young couple from next door. The way you played, it felt like you were sharing something deeply personal. We'd love to hear more. Emily felt a new sense of belonging among her neighbors. The music wasn't just hers to share, it was part of the apartment story, a thread connecting everyone who had ever lived there. Preparing for the stage. Over the next few weeks, Emily worked with the producer to prepare for her first public concert. The venue was a local music hall, and as word spread, excitement grew. People who had heard her in the square told their friends, eager to experience the unique and moving melodies again. On the night of the concert, Emily stood backstage, clutching the violin. Her heart raced with nerves, but she felt Elizabeth's presence beside her, a steadying force. You're ready, Emily whispered to herself, taking a deep breath. When she stepped onto the stage, the audience fell silent. Emily began to play, and the room filled with the same ethereal melodies that had once echoed through the apartment. Each note carried a story, a memory of love, loss, hope, and resilience. By the time she finished, the hall erupted in applause. Many in the audience were wiping away tears, deeply moved by the music. Emily felt a sense of fulfillment unlike anything she had ever experienced. A new journey. Later that night, Emily returned to the top floor room. She placed the violin gently on the piano and spoke into the quiet air. Elizabeth, your music has reached so many people tonight. Thank you for trusting me to share it. I promise to keep playing, to keep telling your story. The room was silent, but as Emily turned to leave, a soft breeze stirred, rustling the curtains. It was as if the apartment itself was offering her a quiet blessing. From that night onward, Emily's journey with the violin continued. She became a bridge between the past and the present, sharing the melodies of the apartment with the world. Through her music, the stories and emotions of Elizabeth and the others lived on, touching hearts and weaving new connections wherever they were heard.